Hello and welcome back. Today is Monday, March 12th, and this is episode 34 of NooBTooB, a weekly independent gaming podcast where we climb the back of the gaming Colossus and stab it in the jaw with our blade of truth. I'm Tobin and
And I am Yuzo Watanabe. We're back in the good old NooBTooB studios, as you can see. While we do love the Arzilla studios, the blanket was a little smelly. Pretty foul, actually.
A little reeky. Yep, so we should get a big fucking NooBTooB banner for behind us in the NooBTooB studios.
Hell yeah. This week we cover Xbox Live, arcade game called Worms, Advent Rising on the PC, and our retro game of the week, Shadow of the Colossus. Woo! New releases this week include God of War 2 on the PS2.
Yes! Tonight we dine in hell!
Prepare for glory! Yeah, alright. Also, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Xbox Live Arcade!
Yes! Heroes in a half shell, motherfucker!
Yeah, and Titleist PGA Golf Tour on the Wii!
Yeah! No! Damn it. As always, we'll finish up with our community section, but let's get started with Worms on Xbox Live by Team 17. Wing. Oh, what? Oh.
Yeah,
alright, hold on. Said,
Oh no!
No!
Oh! You go, sir?
Yes!
Nice refill.
NooBTooB Studios has an infinite supply of boxed wine.
4 bottles right there. Bing!
There we go. Nice frothy head on that wine.
So, Worms, dude.
Worms.
It's an Xbox Live Arcade game, and I did not get a chance to play it, but I believe you did.
Yeah, I played it. So it's the same as Worms has been on the PC.
Sure.
It's just like Scorched Earth. You know, you get the teams of guys. You get a whole series of weapons. You try and
4 worms, right? Each person has 4 worms.
Yeah,
or
I
something
think that's
like that?
about what it was. It seemed like there were more when I was playing. I was playing against the computer
or something, sure.
But yeah, you pick a trajectory, you fire a weapon, and you're just trying to wipe out the other team. I think it's really boring.
Yeah, you know, I was kind of getting really excited about it, but after hearing you talk about it, it's just like, oh, they didn't really do anything different?
Nothing at all. Like, and the thing is the graphics really seem about the same as back when I played Scorched Earth. Like, seriously, it's just kind of, you know, the worms, like, they'll kind of laugh and giggle and go ha-ha, whatever, but it's just...
Do you think they took the exact same sprites from the game and just kind of put it in there?
There's really no innovation here. I mean,
That's unfortunate.
and from what I could see, the weapons weren't all that clever. I tried all the weapons that I had available to me, and it would just be like, you know, cluster bombs and heat-seeking missiles.
Did they have the holy hand grenade?
They did have the holy hand grenade, I think.
Because I remember people complaining about some of the weapons were missing, and I forgot which one. So
there was some sort of really evil hand grenade. I mean, I played through and I beat the computer.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I could go and play online with people, but
for $10, right?
For $10, and it's like I want a more complex game. Like if I'm going to play with somebody online. I know we've talked about this before where it's like, oh, it's a good game to have a break playing, but this is not what I want because the games aren't all that quick, right? I mean, you actually go in and it takes a little while to do the back and forth.
You can't walk very far, you have to choose your weapons, and you miss a lot, I guess.
So, I mean, in terms of quick and fun, easy to play Xbox Live games, I think that Ninja Turtles is going to be a much better solution than this.
We're talking about that in the new releases section.
But yeah, so you played Worms back in the day, right?
Yeah, I played it on the PC, and I kind of liked it. But again, it's one of those games that require you to have a bunch of people over because playing against the AI sucks.
Oh yeah.
So there's that whole aspect of the game might not be that interesting, but you're talking with a bunch of friends, you're like talking shit all the time. It adds to the game.
Yeah.
And I would imagine this would be something. The Worms would be a game that would be very good for that sort of thing. But if you can't try it out,
if you could get like 4-person multiplayer in person. Like this is one of those things where I actually think it'd be.
Is there a split screen or whatever?
I don't know. Well, you don't have to be. You wouldn't have to be split screen in this case, right? Because it would just be one screen to be popping back and forth. But
so I'd imagine, they should
probably.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing is this is one of those few games where I would actually much rather play it in person than online because I mean you can kind of be talking shit over the Xbox thing, but in person,
you can't even make out what kind of shit you're talking on Xbox.
Because it's one of those things where it's like you'd have everybody in the room and somebody would do a shot and you're like, because you see it going at people, and I think that'd be kind of fun.
Sure.
I'm definitely not going to buy it. It's not my cup of tea.
It's too bad because I was really looking forward to a game that would be a lot of fun with all the new tours. Something to pick up and play.
Yeah.
But I was like, I've been really busy. I haven't tried it out, so I was like,
So we were talking last week about how the Xbox couldn't draw arrows non-jerkily. Yeah. So this one, I fire a shot and the computer's like, and it's like. You have to be able to make a decision faster than this about a trajectory and a weapon. Like, it just sits there and sits there and sits there and thinks.
Wait, it has like an AI timeout?
Yeah.
Like, how long?
It seriously sometimes takes like 5 or 10 seconds for them to make a decision about. So you sit there, you fire your weapon, and it's like, You're just sitting there watching the screen as it has like a little thought bubble over its head, and you're like, I know you can make this decision instantly.
Dude, the 360 has 3 cores.
Yeah.
Each one, like, as powerful as one of the PC's chips.
So,
in the computer.
I guess they put it in for extra dramatic effect, and maybe there's an option to turn it off, but I got so angry. Oh.
Yeah, that's totally annoying. So it sounds like a thumbs down for you.
Thumbs down.
That's unfortunate. The other game we want to talk about, quick go to the Retro Gaming Club.
Yeah.
So the Retro Gaming Club this past couple of weeks has been Shadow of the Colossus. It's a classic game. And
Classic that's like a year and a half old.
Well, I'm just saying. No, it's 2005, so yeah, probably,
okay.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And it's a game that I haven't played yet.
Yeah.
So I guess as you come to the game, I was like, okay, what's this game all about?
Yeah.
Apparently you're a guy, you have a girl who's dead, and you have to go save her somehow by killing a bunch of huge monsters.
There's very little tutorial.
Oh, yeah, but that's what I like about it.
That's what I'm saying. It's awesome.
Yeah, because the interface flows so well into the actual game. Yeah, there's a start, game screen, which I wish they'd get rid of because it kind of takes away from it. But once you go into it, bam, you're there, you're riding, you drop your girl off. One thing was really, I thought it was a girl.
Oh, the main character?
Yeah, so I wasn't sure why the girl was dropping off the other. Because he's like really, really.
Shadow of the lesbian Colossus.
Exactly. Shadow of the. Yes. I was going to say it, but I shouldn't. So, So I guess the guy, whoever, some magical creature says, you gotta go kill all these freaking colossi. 16, I think?
I think it was 12.
Well, I counted 16 statues,
maybe
but
16.
maybe I was off by a few. But they're freaking huge.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, the whole gameplay aspect, it seems very simple. It's a platformer. It's a strict platform where you have to go find the platform level.
But it's definitely not like any platform I've ever seen before. Because there's no random enemies, the world is empty. Right. It's just you and the colossi.
But it's kind of like a platform puzzler.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Because the way that I would kind of think of it is like if you played like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, some of those aspects where you just say, okay, well, I need to do this, I need to go over here, I need to do this. There isn't switches and shit like that. At least I haven't seen any yet. But there's the whole aspect of it's a level and it's a puzzle and you need to get to the end. And the end is this glowy spot like on its stomach, on top of its head, where you go and you go, all its blood's all spurting out all over the place. It's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. And I mean, just the sense of scale when you're, you'll come around a corner, you'll come wherever, and there's a Colossus in the distance. It's just this massive thing. And once you get onto him and you start climbing on it or whatever, and he's like trying to shake you off, and you're holding onto his fur, and your character's like his feet are swinging around.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never felt a game like that where it's just you are battling this monster that's so large. Because I mean, normally it's like, I need to get a good vantage point and get some shots on him and dodge his bullets, whatever. It's not like I'm in his face, like climbing on his
fur,
body,
or top of his head or whatever. But one thing I did notice, because I remember hearing all this talk about sense of scale, this, that, and all that sort of thing, right? When I was on top of the Colossus, I didn't feel the same way as, for example, when I was playing Crackdown when I was on top of the Agency Tower. There was that real sense of vertigo in that game.
Didn't get you as much.
But I didn't feel like I was that high. I mean, these Colossi are freaking huge. So I'm climbing, going all over the thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's the ground.
You didn't get that feeling like when he was about to shake you off that you're about to fall like a long distance.
But then I found out that he can't knock you off if you hold down the grab key.
Yeah.
So you have that whole the pink meter which grows and shrinks.
Well, I was going to say he can knock you off if you run out of strength, right? Like you can only grab on for so long.
That's true.
So I mean, but
I didn't have that. I didn't have that fear because I didn't associate him shaking me with me about to fall off. I was always looking at that pink circle, saying
so
like,
"Oh crap,
it's small." Exactly. So there's that.
They could have maybe done it with vibrate.
Yeah.
Where you're sitting there watching the screen and like it vibrates faster and faster.
That's actually a good idea. They should have done something like that where it's more visual, where it's more out of the way. Because at the point, I was just be like, okay, I'm looking at this little gauge, I'm moving.
It's mechanic, yeah.
Exactly. But the style is really well done. I mean, they kind of made it so it's like you really feel like you're alone.
It's very desolate.
I know, because you're riding through the thing on your horse. The horse controls kind of suck, I have to say. I mean, like left, right, and like whinny. That's all you can really do.
Yeah.
And then you're going there, you have to find the Colossi, which is not really hard.
It gets more challenging as it goes on a little bit. I mean, there's tricks where it's like underground, or you have to climb like some big tower.
Oh, really?
And,
Okay, so there's more like platforming outside of the game. Because I only killed 3 so far. How far did you get?
I think I killed like 7. So I didn't beat it either.
Gotcha. And you didn't get to play it this time around. So, do you think you ever finish it?
No. And you know why? Because I saw your post on the forum, and that's why.
So what? Like what about
the graphics?
it kind of looked ugly.
It looks ugly. That's the thing.
It's like crap.
These retro games, man, it's just like you go back and you're like, this game is beautiful and no one's done a game like it on next gen, whatever.
But it's almost because it's too realistic,
yes.
right? If it was cartoony, if it was more stylistic, like with Okami. Okami is on the same hardware. It's about, a year later, and it looks a bunch better.
You got to play the strengths, right? Because that's the thing is these platforms, you realize that you don't have the power to do fully realistic. That's like when they started doing things like Resident Evil and GameCube. I got angry.
Oh yeah, that's
because it's not built for that. Like
blocky.
It needs to be, these big textures and big sunshiny, solid colors. I mean, like Mario 64 and Mario
it's
Sunshine.
Timeless. You can still play it now.
Absolutely.
But one of the things, so what I kind of like is if you look at a game like Crackdown, they did it in a heavily stylized view where I think 3 years from now it'll still look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, because it's almost not. It's not. See, I wouldn't say cell shaded, but I mean like the.
It's
very cartoony.
Booky.
Yeah, but they weren't trying for realism. Is all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like they were not going for good facial expressions.
In this, like they have grass, they have rock, and you're walking by, and you're like, okay, it's flat everywhere you go, and it's just like, oh come on.
Yeah,
guys.
it looks very dated. So I probably won't end up beating it, but I loved it when I played it, and it seems like you had a pretty good time playing it too.
It is. I'm going to be finishing it some more, but we have Ratchet coming up, so we'll see. I mean, I have so many games. Well, we have another game coming up. So
God of War, you mean?
No. Well, I meant we have other games. Yeah, you're right, God of War. But we have other games like Ratchet, our other retro classic game that we're talking about.
Right,
so it'll be tough to go back. I have so many games on my pile of shame. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't finish Okami. I didn't finish Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's
terrible,
like the list
dude.
of games that you actually finish starts to become your point of pride, which is it's just sad.
I don't have that anymore because I hardly finish any game.
Yeah.
I finished.
We beat Crackdown.
That's right. No, that was whoa, 5 hours.
I still beat it.
I beat Dead Rising. I was happy about that.
Nice. Very nice.
So I think it's. I would definitely say it's the thumbs up as far as the kinds of things it does, but don't play it for the graphics or ignore the graphics because you have games that coming out of the PS2 now, like the next game we'll be talking about, God of War 2. It still looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It looks like a shitty Xbox 360 game, but it still looks good.
It does look pretty good. I mean, I was watching them play it at GDC, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be really fun to play. I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, that kind of looks like garbage, though. Like, it really... It's not as bad as Shadow of the Colossus, but, I mean, PS2 is very noticeably PS2 now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really hoping that I don't start playing God of War, and I'm like, man, I wish this looked more like Gears.
Yeah.
Like, we could really be riding that edge where we're still buying games for platforms that...
At the very least, God of War, the gameplay is going to be solid.
It's going to be awesome.
All the kinds of things that you're going to be able to do. They made it more gory.
I bet I'm going to beat it. I bet I'm going to play through it. It's too good. I mean,
really?
God of War 1 was...
I didn't finish God of War 1, dude.
I did.
It was... Really?
Yeah.
Because this one's supposed to be a lot longer.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that. But I would say thumbs up. Definitely go check it out. Give it a try. It is one of those classics for the PS2. It's going to be one of those ones like... if I have to pick 25 games on the PS2 that you got to play, it's definitely on that list.
So speaking of classics... apparently, this next game is kind of a critic's darling, but neither one of us had heard of it. I went and looked online, and there's a bunch of people. It's one of these things where the reviews are all over the map, where a bunch of people were like, "This is the best game ever," blah blah blah, and then some people were like, "The controls are kind of crappy." So we were at Video Games Live. We'll talk about that later. But the point is they played some music from this game called Advent Rising. They're showing some clips on the screen, and I was like, "Fuck, that game looks good." Like I've never heard of it.
It kind of looked like Beyond Good and Evil as far as the sense of scale.
It looked very much like that.
All of a sudden, someone's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And, wetting his seat and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
If it's a sci-fi epic, I'm going to be all over it. Like anything like Werner Vinge, sort of big sci-fi, whatever. So Advent Rising, you're
what is it about? Like, what's the deal? It looks sci-fi. It looks story.
So it was written by Orson Scott Card, who wrote Ender's Game.
No kidding.
Yeah, so he did all the dialogue. He did the screenplay.
Awesome.
The music is very orchestral. They got opera singers. They got whatever. It's a big.
It's like a AAA title came out like.
Yeah, see, I don't know if it's AAA. That's the only thing where it's like.
Doesn't make it AAA.
So here's the thing: the story is very compelling. The voice acting is very neat. The cutscenes are very nice. The story, I mean, it's all very cool. The gameplay needs a little work.
Oh,
so
really?
It's one of these things where I'm actually playing through it for the story, which is very unusual for me.
Weird.
I know. Oh, it's not like all boring and clicking and ready, right? It's
but what is it? Is it an
it's like a movie.
Game? Is it an RPG? Is it like Beyond Good and Evil? Is it like a platformer?
It's a third-person shooter.
Oh.
So
all right.
It's kind of like Halo. in terms of the gameplay, like in terms of picking up kind of weird energy weapons off your enemies, and there's grenades and guns and whatever. Yeah, just basically all that stuff. I mean, so it's just kind of a shooter, but there's a lot of kind of plot related things where there's this one point where you have to decide, your ship is exploding, these enemies are coming in, you have to decide whether to save your brother or your girlfriend. And then from the story? For the rest of the story, your brother's, I saved my brother, and he's with you, and your girlfriend's dead. And then now there's a new love interest that you're falling in love with. So I'm wondering, like,
how many branches they have.
That's what I'm wondering.
Made.
So I mean, so it's kind of, it's like, it's hard to explain because it's like a choose your own adventure / first person shooter / whatever. So I mean, I'll probably never play through this twice, and I probably won't strongly recommend it to people, but I'm definitely going to beat it because it's got a really, really interesting story. And it's just kind of,
and does
you
the
play
story
for a bit.
fall into the like the standard sci-fi genre as far as
kind of? I mean, you're humans and you're on Earth, and all of a sudden these aliens show up and start throwing asteroids into the Earth, and you're escaping, and you meet another alien race that's trying to help people. So
weird.
I'm really enjoying it. I like a good story. It's basically, it really just kind of feels like I'm playing a movie.
It's so weird because we've made a lot of talk about how story doesn't matter. It's all about gameplay. If the gameplay sucks, don't even bother. But this game's like proof positive that
you can do a story.
You can do
right.
a good story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. It doesn't sound like I'd be interested in this sort of game because I am more gameplay, oriented, and anything like sci-fi opera. I don't have the same sort of like hooks. Like, oh my god, it's sci-fi.
Yeah.
And just grab me. So, sounds good. So, who made it? Do you know?
I do not.
Okay. But it was kind of one of those things that was just flew under the radar, right?
Yeah. It just I don't. It came out on Xbox and PC, and it just kind of vanished. It came out in 2005, so we should have heard about it, but we didn't.
Yeah, it's no publicity or anything.
No.
How did you get a hold of it?
It's on Steam.
Oh,
so this is very, very cool. This is one of these things where it's like, oh, thank you, Steam. Because I was looking online.
Why Steam was
invented. I was looking. You can't buy it new anymore. There's a bunch of shady looking shops where you could buy it used, and then I was like, you have to wait for God knows how long for them to ship it. And then Steam is like $19.95. Full game download. It's 4 gigs.
Holy crap.
It's a nice big, well-sized game. Boom! I just downloaded it, had it like 3 hours later.
Gotcha. So you would say like this game is a thumbs up, but with reservations.
I mean, if you like what I like, if you like what I've just said about the game, if that sounds like fun to you, then I say it's a definite thumbs up. I love it. I'm gonna play through it. But like you said, if you're looking for really strong,
like
gameplay,
a really strong FPS or a really strong gameplay mechanics,
it's not that.
It's just because all you're doing is just shooting people. There's not much depth to it.
Yeah.
I mean, what is?
But there's exploration to it. You're kind of going around the levels, and
you love exploration.
I do. But yeah, it just doesn't feel all that polished. It's not like it's buggy. It's not like it's frustrating. It's just kind of simple. It's just kind of like,
if they had a little bit more money, a little bit more time, they could have made it.
It doesn't feel crunchy. It's not like it doesn't feel like.
I was looking at because I remember watching the videos during Video Game Live, and it looked a little sterile.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this game could have been made 4 years ago.
Right. But all the cutscenes look great. So it's kind of like the gameplay is the only part that was a little shaky. So anyway, I highly recommend it. Go check it out.
All right. New releases.
Yes.
So God of War 2, we've already talked a lot about this, and we're going to talk more about it next week after we get our grubby little mitts on it tomorrow.
Yep. So all that much to say.
It's going to be
play
awesome.
a god. The world is huge. We've talked about 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I guess the god.
It's a platformer.
He became the God of War in the first game, and now he has a fall from grace. Is that my understanding?
It sounds like that's the story.
You're probably going to have a lot of boobs.
Yes.
And a lot of impalings
funny.
with swords.
Yeah. There is some gross, you can just be cutting people in half, taking their heads off, whatever. It's good.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a game to watch, and we'll talk a full feature game review tomorrow.
Next week.
Yeah.
Yep. Next.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Here's in a half shell.
Ninja Turtles.
Turtle power. I love this game in the arcade so much. The amount of money I've put into this thing, I can't even tell you. It was like the 4, it's like Gauntlet style, where there's like all 4 controllers.
It was a huge game. I think it might even have 2 screens.
Oh, really?
Or there was some that had projected on 2 screens.
Yeah.
Oh, although it wasn't like what was that one? Marvel Superheroes with 3 screens. You remember that one?
Oh yeah, I do remember that one.
That was huge. But this one is amazing. It's a 4-person brawler, just like Simpsons, just like. What is that? The Avengers game. I mean, there's tons of arcade games which are these
this was a big phase for a while. There's like early 90s, early to mid 90s.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s. They were quarter munchers because you would go there, you get like 1 life and a full bar of health, and maybe like a minute later you'd be dead.
Yeah, it was just constant money.
Oh,
and
jeez.
It'd be one of those things where it's like all of you would have to battle together, and you'd play for a while, and then you get to the end boss, and you'd just be like, the bosses just ate you alive.
And I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping that they do, because the thing with those games become really boring if you don't have quarters.
Yeah.
Because if you just
If
keep
we have
on putting
infinite
yourself,
lives.
it's just like with MAME, right? You just put 20 lives. It's like, okay, there's no much fun in it.
Right.
I'm hoping that they would actually design the achievements so they force you to actually do it and do it well. Like
I hope so.
finish this one without dying. Finish the game without dying. That's impossible.
Yeah.
But
I'm hoping online 4-player co-op. It's got to
we should
have
look
it.
that
Got to
up.
have
Yeah,
it.
it better have it.
So this NooBTooB is going to come out on Wednesday. This game's coming out on Wednesday. Yuzo and I will be online. I swear to you,
Yes.
guys, right now, we'll be online Wednesday night. We're going to both buy the game,
Hell yeah.
and we're going to be online playing it. Hop online, play with us. We're going to have a NooBTooB multiplayer.
I picked Donatello. Nobody else has got
Yeah, I got
Donatello.
Leonardo.
All right.
Dibs.
So you get red or green.
Yeah, you can be Raphael or damn it, Donatello,
Leonardo.
Oh, this is going to kill me.
Isn't Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Not Ronaldo.
Eduardo.
Reginald.
Papa Smurf.
Brainy.
Slutty.
Dopey.
Fuck.
What is it?
I
Come
don't
on.
know.
It's one of those things, right? Raphael. Is it
Leonardo,
Raphael?
Donatello, Raphael. Oh my god, this is going to kill me. So there's the nunchucks, there's the size, there's the
bow
swords.
staff.
Oh! Damn it. All right.
Oh, do you
move it.
remember that one XKCD? Do you see that one XKCD comic?
Uh-uh.
So this is great. It's like they had like the four ones. It's like notoriety as a
Yes!
as a Ninja Turtle or a Renaissance like painter.
Yes. That was awesome.
Michelangelo.
Yes, Michelangelo.
That's the
Damn
one.
it.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So cool. Definitely check that out.
Yeah.
And what's next, dude?
Woo!
Tiger Woods.
Woo!
PGA Golf World Tour.
Golf
07.
game number 80 for the fucking Wii.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess there was that Super Swing Golf. There's Wii Golf. Now this one.
Wii Golf is fun. On the
Golf
Wii
is a lot of
Sports.
fun. Super
It's
Swing,
fun.
you played it. You
I
didn't
hated
like
it.
I'm
Stupid.
hoping that they did it right. You know what I mean? They still use the same thing where you use motion because the thing is, when I play Wii Golf, I want something more. I want more depth. I want more clubs. I want more something. And I'm hoping...
Really? You going to play a lot of golf?
A little. Only if they do it right.
All
Because I do like golf games. I mean, you like Wii Golf.
I did like Wii Golf when I'm playing like with my family. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
you know.
well, that's when I'm be playing,
Yeah.
right? I'll break it out.
I gotcha, yeah.
I only break out the Wii when there's other people
True,
around.
true.
Tiger Woods generally is considered one of the better. Actually, it's pretty much the only golf game
Right.
that comes out these days, and it's generally pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this will be good. It comes out tomorrow, and I'll give it a try. I'm excited.
I'll rent it from Blockbuster.
Yes.
And the last one, this is interesting. Mind Quiz coming out on the DS.
Yeah,
we
your
couldn't
brain
find
coach.
shit about this game. Like,
I think they spent like $- on PR.
yeah, Yuzo and I love these brain trainers on the DS. We're like, shit, Mind Quiz coming out. We check. Amazon got no reviews on it. GameSpot, 1UP, IGN, none of these guys did any reviews on it. There was like, we'd go in the forums, and there'd be like one post, and the guy's like, what's this game all about? What is this? So...
yeah, it's a DS game. Mind Quiz.
I mean, it's only $20. I'm going to get it and play because I love these brain trainers. They're fun as hell.
Yeah, although there were
It's
two.
Ubisoft, man. Ubisoft does some pretty good stuff.
Well, Ubisoft publishes it, so who knows who actually made it? They could have done something. But
They also did Rayman Raving Rabbids, which is kind of poop. So
yeah, no.
I can't really trust them. But they did Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, well, the other guy.
It was like 800 years ago. Yeah.
You played the Gamma and Beta ones a while back. Those were so-so.
Oh,
right?
those were they're not so-so. They were shit.
Yeah. See, in that case, that's what I'd be worried
Were
about.
those by Ubisoft too?
I don't know.
I mean, those felt like they were made in someone's garage.
Again, right? Ubisoft is such a huge publisher that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You can't really say Ubisoft, as a mark of quality.
Right.
But the thing
those were just those were like insultingly bad.
But that's the thing. It's just like after Brain Age, everybody's trying to jump on the market with all these brain training games, and they're not putting a lot of thought and effort into it. The only one that's actually good, if not better, is Big Brain Academy.
Yeah.
So.
And Big Brain Academy on the Wii looks so good.
Yes, you saw the video last week.
Yeah, we played it.
So that would be cool tomorrow as well. Tobin
So we
will
got
get his hands on that.
Yeah, we got a decent week coming up, man. God of
dude.
War and Ninja Turtles. We're going to be rocking out.
Not bad. Cool. I think we reached the halfway point at this point. Community section. We now have GDC Day 2, so we only talked about Wednesday. Can you believe we spent 20 minutes talking about one day?
So GDC was a big event. Big event.
Dude, yeah. 3 days. No, a whole week.
Yeah. We only went to 2 days of it, but that was
we can only
a
take
lot.
2 days off.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we got jobs.
We got to get paid.
That's right. Fool.
So yeah, but dude, I must say, I think the second day for me, anyways, was a lot better than the first day.
Yeah.
I got to see, and I'll be talking about. I got to see.
We got our interview.
We got our interview with what's his name, Michael, I think.
Yeah.
At Crytek. We playing. Actually, we should probably put that on there.
Yeah.
We also had talked to. We saw Molyneux talk, or I saw Molyneux talk. I saw Chris Taylor talk, and I want to talk about that. And Ralph Koster.
Yeah.
And Tobin will go over some of that stuff. So it's just crazy. And of course, we capped it all off on Friday. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Video Games Live. All right, so let's get started. So you checked out the Fable 2 talk.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, the dog.
Oh, the dog. So Fable 2. So Peter Molyneux went over all of the new features, the cool new features he's going to add. So I think there's been a lot of talk already about how you can get married, you can have kids.
Yeah. Which is weird.
And here's the whole thing. His idea of what he wants to do with this game is make you feel love.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've seen in a game before. I mean, maybe with like Tamagotchi and some other random stuff, you kind of got little inklings of that, right? With Nintendogs and things like that. But this is going to be an RPG environment with Fable.
Yeah.
So he's going to make it so, like I was telling on the boards, it's like, okay, you would go out, you go on your quest to kill like 15 scorpions or something like that. You'd come home, he'd come out like saying, Daddy, I heard you killed 15 scorpions, yay! It's like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And your wife will say stuff and like, it'll look like you.
Yeah.
Like a little version of you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is you could feel them trying to do this in the first Fable, and they just failed. Like it was, it was very ambitious, and it just wasn't really ready for that. And we'll see if he does that in this one.
He's had how many years since Fable?
Yeah. Well, there's videos on the NooBTooB forums.
Yes.
So somebody went and tracked down some of the videos from GDC, and you can actually see a little bit of this whole thing. We'll talk about the dog a little bit.
So, but real quick about the kid too. The other thing is like, if you're evil, he's evil.
Oh,
so, like,
that's awesome!
You come back from killing your sister for a sword, right? And he's like, hey, Daddy, I beat up a bully and made him eat shit or something like that.
He's got little fucking horns on him and everything.
He'd be all like black hair and be like, he'd be like a total goth kid,
He's got little wings.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's got little hair over one eye. My poems are dark as my soul.
So it's going to be like that, but get this. He said, okay, that's nothing. That's not going to be a small part of the love aspect. Yeah. He's going to actually give you a dog. And this dog looks so friendly.
Oh, yeah?
He's like running around going, woo, woo, woo. I mean, he looks really realistic. They put a lot of time and effort in the animation of the dog, how he walks around, and you can play fetch. So, like, you get the dog.
So you don't have to even play the game. Like, you can just be hanging out with your dog.
Exactly. It's a little black and whitey.
Yeah. And you can, like, discipline it, like, actually teach it to behave certain ways,
right? Train it to do certain things. And he said that. He made it so that everybody's dog is unique.
Yeah.
Based off what quests you go on, how you treat the dog, and all this sort of stuff. So here's how they're going to do the whole love aspect, right? So you can have your dog, and if you don't mess around with it or you don't play with it that much, then it's just going to be there. And he was saying he's going to use the dog as replacements for certain gameplay topics. So one thing he was talking about, he hates the minimap. So there's a minimap in Fable. Right?
Okay.
That kind of tells you where you're going to go and things like that. He's going to use the dog to do that. So with the dynamic realms that he's adding, so every zone is just going to grow side by side as you go.
So you'd be like walking past him, and the dog's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
like kind of trying to get your attention to go towards something.
Exactly. So you actually, you want to know what's new in the game, in the area that you're in, because it's going to be something new. So you go there, all of a sudden, woo woo, and he starts pointing, and he points you over there. He also warns you. So he's like a radar. So if there's enemies, he'll go here, and he goes, he starts growling, and he'll go ahead of you.
See, what's so badass about that is games like Zelda or whatever, where you've got this big world, right? Like it invariably ends up with you start off in this area, you go somewhere else, you come back here, you go somewhere else, you come back here, and every time you're like, fuck me, I gotta re-explore this town. And you're like, oh wait, now I can jump higher, let me go over to here, and it's just and if you can go back and have the dog say, you haven't explored here yet, I'm like, oh cool, let me go check it out. Like that is a huge innovation. Like,
it's totally intuitive, you know what I mean? Before everything else is anything that they do in the game to make you do that, it takes you out of the game. Yeah. Right? You have the mini map, which is like glowing area, here's you, go here, right? It's like,
and they never do that right.
No, they never do. So one of the cool things about this dog is that he has 3 rules, like the laws of robotics.
Like Asimov's.
Exactly. Number 1 is don't piss off the player. Because basically he says any game with a sidekick always pisses you off. They don't walk the right place. You have to tell them to do everything and all that stuff. This guy is just going to be helpful and do the right thing every single time.
So what if the dog dies?
Well, see, I don't know about the dying aspect. They didn't really mention that much. Yeah. But it does get damaged.
Okay.
So when you're fighting, oh dude, get this right. So it's smart. When you're fighting, right, and you break out your bow. Yeah. He knows to go after the melee guy, because the melee guy's coming after you because you have the bow. Or not the bow, but gun, rather.
Well, yeah, distance, yeah.
But if you pull out your sword, he goes and runs after and kills the air distance guy. So it's just like...
It's like having a smart buddy.
Exactly.
It really is. It's just like, you get the casters, I'll get the fighters.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, because he was saying that originally when they made the dog, they added a button for every command, like go here, go walk. And they said it just didn't work.
So can your dog become evil?
Yes.
Oh,
so it looks evil.
Like some big fucking hellhound.
Basically, if you're good, the cuter it looks. Oh. So it looks, at some point, it looks like Hello Kitty.
I would just end up smacking the shit out of that dog. It starts going around all cute.
But dude, like, let me get this one part. Like, when as far as the love portion, if it gets damaged, right, it's like, and like, it's kind of limping, and you can just walk off.
You just leave it?
Leave it. but it'll find you.
Oh, really?
Like later on, like days later, you'll be like, he'll be saying, you'll be in a tavern, drinking your ale, telling your stories, and then it'll be like, like scratching the door.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And the townkeeper will open the door saying, "Who the fuck left this dog out here to die?" And then everybody will stop liking you. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
So
when's this coming out? Will they even give us a date?
He said sometime this year.
So this year. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So it'll be great.
That sounds badass.
So
he gave
excited.
you the full demo and everything.
Yeah, the full demo. You can see the video on the thing. The other cool thing, he says that if you actually do like the dog and you play with it a lot, and they're going to open dog-specific quests.
Oh.
And he just said specifically one word. It's like, if you love the dog, in the middle of the game, I'm going to fuck with you.
Nice.
So it's just like, what is he going to do? He's going to take the dog away? He's going to do, he's going to do something bad to the dog.
That's so interesting. So that's cool. So I mean, like when you and I play through this game, it'll be a completely different game for each one of us, which is very unusual.
And he also mentioned something about, wouldn't it be nice if we can have everybody's dog play with each other? He wouldn't say anything specific.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that'd be very cool.
Xbox.
All right, right on.
That's right.
Fable 2, looking good.
Ralph Koster is next. We had a quick little meeting with quick little session with him.
Yeah, so Ralph Koster is a big. He was like the head of Sony's gaming division for a while.
He worked on EverQuest and EverQuest 2, I believe.
I thought he did some stuff with Ultima too. I don't remember. Maybe it was just EverQuest.
Yeah, he might have done some Ultima stuff.
So anyway, this guy gave a talk and he just kind of started tearing into people, which was very interesting. He's like, you guys don't know what's going on out there. You only think of what the industry is. He's like, while you haven't been looking, things are popping up that are not industry. Like Toys R Us had this MMO where they sold a pet and then you'd get a login, and now apparently there's 3 million kids registered and playing this
a month. Like uniques.
Huge.
And how many is in World of Warcraft?
8.
Which is the juggernaut? Like 8 million, right?
Total.
That's crazy.
And he was really rubbing this in, which is, they have to start thinking the way that the web thinks now, where you don't get to go off for 4 years and make something because other people are going to be innovating daily, where they're going to say, here's a new build, here's a new build, here's a new build, and people are playing with it, and you can actually release 4 new builds in parallel,
and then see which one you get to use this one, you get to use this one, and then you record the statistics of everything.
Yeah.
So that way, and that's what they do with websites right now. When they do Gmail or something like that, they just throw out features for different groups of people, and they just get feedback.
And they're like, are people using this? People use this one more than this one. People, obviously click away from the page quicker when this pops up than this pops up.
Do they like this UI better or this UI better? It's fascinating.
So he was saying, you have to take new web principles and apply them to gaming. And one little thing which I have to say is a little kind of funny is I went and checked out his website, and he formed a company like a year ago, and he's like, news on what we're doing coming soon. And it's like, oh, you're kind of full of shit a little bit there because you're not innovating, like, you know what I mean?
He's not like putting his shit out right away before it's even ready.
So I mean, he might be innovating. I mean, he's probably working on ways to do quick releases. I mean, he sounded like he really believed what he was talking about.
Does
he was not full of shit.
He's doing a real game company then, or is it like
that's what it sounded like?
Okay.
It sounded like he was doing some real game stuff.
Well, I'm really curious about this because I was curious about like all of the things that are happening under the sidelines. So he was talking about how MTV and all of these big media companies are building MMOs, but they don't even look like MMOs. There's like some Laguna Beach Online crap or something like that. And these are things. They're games. They're people that connect, and they're getting tons and tons of unique people every month. And it's like, wow.
And the other thing is I think that he was also talking about how it doesn't have to be this thing where you play World of Warcraft, for 3 years. Where you can release a new product, you can release a huge MMO, you can use this as an advertising blitz, people play it nonstop for 6 months, then it goes away and you release another one.
That's true.
Like this you can treat an MMO as if it's an ad campaign. And that's another thing that gamers think, like gaming companies are like, we're going to spend $50 million on this, it is a fucking franchise.
Well, remember how he was showing us this graphs, right? He was saying like, look, like here is the budgets of every game since the 1970s. And it was just this curve that was exponential. And you go to the top, it's like at some point in the next 5 years, game budgets are going to be cost more than anybody can possibly spend.
Yeah, it's reaching a point where ridiculous. You cannot keep up. Where he was showing, in the 80s, the games would cost $10,000, and now it costs $30 million.
Yeah,
and it's up every time. You can't sustain that. So there's going to have to be some sort of shift in the way that we do games, even if it's just that we start leveling off the budget and start doing these incremental, sort of add-ons. And
well, I really liked how he was showing how the fact that you have a lot more Flash games which are taking over, and you're getting a lot more of that. And there's actually going to be YouTube of Flash games. There's like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. confabulated.
I forget. So
There's a couple.
Constructor Con.
Yeah.
Something. I don't remember.
So we'll try and find a couple of links for some of those. But people are actually starting to release these YouTube for Flash games, where it's just people are just spitting out Flash games left and right, and you play them, you rank them, you rate them, and it's just like this.
And he says that the next million-selling game or something like that is going to come out of here.
Yeah.
As opposed to something else. And he had this other quote too. He was saying how, remember when Geometry Wars came out? Within 48 hours, there were countless clones of that game, and some were better.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And how long did Geometry Wars take for that one guy to make? I mean, come on. It's just
it took forever. Like, they had to go off and they had to, write all the code for it, and people, once they see what you've done, they can just knock it off like that.
I know.
And, pretty soon these game engines are going to get good enough that you can just start ripping off people's games just like that and sell your own things on the web.
Hell yeah. And some of these are fun. Remember, like, we were showing that experimental game with the Devil Barbecue thing, like Barbecue in Hell. That was
It made
fun.
it in a week.
I know.
So, it really drives home the point of gameplay is king.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be king, right? It is one way to be king. Like, that's the thing, as he was saying, is this world is bigger than any of us think. Like, anytime that you think this is the gaming world, you're missing something. There's other people out there. There's people in Asia doing stuff that aren't part of the gaming culture.
All the Korean stuff that's going on right now, where all the games are free and you have to buy shit in the game to support it.
That's a huge model in the future.
Do you see that happening here?
Second Life.
Not at all. I mean, Second Life, you're not even buying stuff. You're like buying land.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but you put in money, and then you can buy goods and whatever else. But that's the only thing we've done that's even close.
Yeah.
And it's not the same. I mean, like, you get these kids that are obsessed with their little, Pikachus and whatever else, and they will buy more Pokemon. They will buy more of these
Neopets
things.
Or whatever.
Neopets.
I forget what the game it is. Yeah.
That's on the forums. People were talking about Neopets.
But is that the same one that they were
I don't
talking
think
about?
you can spend money on that one.
But I was just wondering if it's the same game.
I don't think that's that one. I think that's different.
Yeah, but it's really fascinating, some of the things that they're actually doing. So keep an eye out, and I think the era of the $30 million AAA title like Grand Theft Auto 4 might be extinct in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, or it's going to kind of branch.
Yeah, you'll have like kind of niche.
The Hollywood games.
In the indie games.
Yep.
Exactly.
But yeah, so check out Ralph Koster. He's really cool. He's got his own blog.
He's a great speaker.
Really good speaker. And he really doesn't take any shit from people, which I really appreciated. Like, he's there at a gaming convention. He's like, you guys don't know what the hell you're doing. He's like, you have no idea this whole other world. And he kind of, walked people through it. So that was really cool.
Yes, yes.
So talk about your Jizz Fest.
Oh, yes. So Supreme Commander Chris Taylor did a talk. Which, that's how I felt, dude. So I was up till, 4 a.m. And the talk was at 9 a.m. And I had to wake up at 7. It was just like, because I don't want to get there early. Because, I was worried I was going to be turned away. Yeah. And I got there, like, at 8:45, and there was, like a quarter full.
Don't forget, nerds don't wake up early.
No.
For anything.
No, everybody was at Cliffy B's talk.
Okay. Gears of War, yeah.
Yeah, so I missed that, but I must say, Chris Taylor, he is an amazing speaker. Cool. He's like Tobin, but with a worse body mouth. I'm telling you. He has these stories, and he'll be talking like, it's just some bad shit, man. But what was kind of annoying about his talk was that he didn't talk about the game so much, as opposed to the things he's doing within the industry. So one of the things in the industry that he was pioneering, which I think is fascinating, is 9 to 5 hours for game development.
Interesting.
So he was saying with Supreme Commander, after his kid, he says, I want to be part of my kid's life. We are going to change. So he had his company. He said, look, we're going to work from 9 to 5. We're going to work smarter. And we're going to release this game.
He did that for Supreme Commander?
Yes.
Okay,
or during it, or right?
Well, I'm just saying, it's been proven that this works.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
So he had all his team do that, and they only worked 9 to 5. And the only time they had to work overtime during crunch time was maybe the last 2 weeks before launch.
Wow.
And even then,
for the game industry, that's unheard of.
Dude, it's crazy. And he's saying like everybody was happier. Everybody was, everything. You make better games.
And you work smarter. You do when you're happy. You work smarter. You and I are both engineers. We write code. It's just like if you get frustrated if you're working, 16-hour days. That doesn't mean you're making more code.
You're making more bugs.
You're making more bugs. You spend more time shooting the shit and finding things to like surf the web.
Yeah, he was like saying like, we come in around 10. You'd be like, okay, I'll read some emails. Like, it's lunch.
Yeah.
When you're working 12 hours, you're not really working 12 hours, right? You're just at the place. So I thought that was really cool, and I think it was very admirable because it's very against. He was talking about how one of his guys used to work at EA.
Yeah.
And for whatever game, he worked 1,000 hours of overtime.
What?
Which ended up turning like 14 hours a week or something or a day or something like that.
See, that's just not healthy.
And with this Supreme Commander, he worked like 50.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So that was really good. Then he talked about how basically it was impossible to make Supreme Commander because he actually had it go to a publisher. They canned it.
Oh.
It might have been EA. But anyhow, he was like 2 letters. You know, he was just really smart. It was great.
Nice.
But he was just saying like how some of the things within Supreme Commander, which are like amazing advancements, just people were like, huh, that won't work. Because of the strategic.
This isn't the formula we know.
Well, it's the strategic zoom.
Yeah.
So right now, I don't know if you played the game or you looked at it all, but you can just zoom out all the way to the entire map,
right.
and you can just point the mouse over here. You flick, and then you zoom in.
Yeah.
You keep on doing that back and forth, and it's just like it changed the game.
Huh.
This is the reason why I hate RTSs. I love Supreme Commander.
Yeah.
And he was just basically saying the big thing about Supreme Commander is that it finally brings strategy to the real-time strategy game. Because what he said was like, you start out the game, you get thrown, you all of a sudden have to get a whole bunch of, resources, go send your guy over here, send your guy over, and it's a tactical game.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you deal with what's right in front of you?
Yeah. Well, it's garbage. It's resource management.
And I think that's what you hate about RTSs, right?
Yeah.
You're saying like, okay, crap, I gotta do this, oh, somebody's gonna rush me and I die. With Supreme Commander, because of the fact that you can zoom out all the way, you make strategic decisions. You go send a scout over there, you see him building air fighters.
Yeah.
Oh! Then you start building anti-air. So
Nice.
that's a strategic decision, not a tactical decision,
Yeah,
right?
that's cool.
So it's like, it's all about that, where he sees these things that are so obvious. He designed them into Supreme Commander, and people didn't
like
believe
it. Yeah. Wow.
But now that it's out, it's like, proof's in the pudding. So anyhow,
Cool.
I don't want to
So
go too
good
much.
talk.
It's really amazing talk. He's amazing. If you ever get a chance to see him, he's just funny.
Cool.
Even if you don't like the game.
Yeah. No, I'd love
Just
to, if I could wake up earlier.
Yes, that would be the problem. So yeah, and I got him to sign my game.
Nice. Yeah, we got the picture up of you with your signed copies of Supreme Commander. It was awesome.
That's right. Oh, that's like, how many people actually bought the game? And I'm like, I did.
Nice.
So yeah, that was it. It was good talk. Best talk of the thing.
Real quick, the other thing we did this week was we went to Video Games Live, which if you check it out on the web.
Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to talk about the other thing, CryTech thing first?
I
don't know how you want to put it in. But.
Well, let's talk about this real quick.
Okay, cool.
So Video Games Live, we went to. It's not all that much to talk about because it was just basically a really cool interactive live music of video games, but it was a really nice moment because they really embraced the culture. It wasn't kind of just sit here and listen to music. They're like, we know you guys are dorky. Let's bring out, all these really famous people. We'll bring out the guy that plays all the gaming songs on the piano. He's really famous. The guy that plays
video game pianist.
Video game pianist. Bring out what's his name that friggin' invented the Mario music?
Koji Kondo.
Koji Kondo. I mean,
that was
so they had
awesome.
big names. So you're just sitting there and you're like, holy crap! They brought out the guys that did the LucasArts music.
Yeah, and
they played Monkey Island and Grim Fandango, and it was the greatest moment ever.
Yes.
So this was a blast. They had this little thing that I'll play a little clip of it, but there's this game where they brought somebody up from the audience. They put him in a shirt with the Space Invaders logo on it, and they made him run back and forth on the screen and shoot. And he was playing like this huge, big screen Space Invaders thing. So I mean, it wasn't just sit and listen to music. It was here's a bunch of Final Fantasy music and a bunch of Halo music.
What I loved about the thing is just like they actually had a full-on orchestra.
Yeah.
And
choir.
Yeah. And like an opera singer for the Advent Rising music.
That was hot.
It was like, man, it's like I didn't like the Halo music that much, but when they actually had the people singing the Halo music, it was like, wow, that's pretty impressive.
It was badass. So if they come to your town, check them out. That was awesome.
Videogameslive.com. They have all of the schedule there. I think they're pretty much traveling the nation. They have like 17 show dates.
Yeah.
And they just came back from Europe, I believe. So I don't think they're going there anytime soon.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really cool. I think we'll show a little clip of the Space Invaders.
Yeah, because it's just too funny to pass up. But so Yuzo was mentioning the other thing was so we actually. Yeah. Sorry to kind of skip around, but to get back to the GDC thing, we got an interview with a lead graphical engineer at CryTech. So we will go ahead and give you a taste of that right now.
It's our first. What's kind of weird is like it's our very first drop-in video for NooBTooB. So
bear with
us. It might not look great or whatever, but the audio, we recorded both audio and video, and we had him give us an actual demo of the level editor.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So just to introduce you real quick, it was a quick interview with the guy, and then a exclusive look at the. I mean, they never demoed this before. They never demoed the CryTech level editor before, and you can see how you can actually edit levels and drop in live and explore the levels as you edit them, which is just badass as hell. So enjoy.
This is Yuzo and Tobin. With NooBTooB, and we were interviewing Martin. How do you pronounce your last name? Nittering from CryTech, basically, and we're going to be talking about the CryEngine 2, which is powering the new game coming out for the PC, Crysis. So we're very excited about that. So this seems to be a relatively new company. So I guess some of the questions that we're trying to find out, like, what is the main reason for the company? What are you guys trying to do with the industry? What are you trying to change?
Well, our bosses. We have the Yali brothers. You might know those. You have met them, one of them.
Very nice dressers.
That's true. So they want to make a stunning game, and they want to quickly compete with all the big ones. And we really want to challenge the whole thing, basically. And then we basically need our own engine, because if you just take the other engines, you just get those results that can be made with those ones. We have maximum power, basically, if we make that ourselves. And so the Far Cry thing started, basically. We separated the engine from the game in some way, and we had the CryEngine, and now we have CryEngine 2, even much more separated. And now to license this, we're here now for GDC.
All right, that's excellent. And so some of the questions we had about CryEngine.
Yeah, so actually, I mean, the big thing is here, what are the distinguishing features of the CryEngine with regards to its competition, like the Source Engine and the Unreal Engine?
Well, I cannot speak that much about the other engines, but I can tell you that we have DirectX 9 and DirectX 10 support, and that works very well on both sides, basically. And we use multi-GPU and multiple processors, and these are the key features of the upcoming generations that you really need to feed, basically.
So when you say multi-threaded and multi-core, I mean, these are going to be taking advantage of all these processors. Do you mean actual like processing as of all the polygons, things like that, or is there other threads with AI and physics and that sort of thing?
Yeah, we have multiple modules. Like AI is not one of the modules that we have it currently. For some reasons, but it's basically you want to apply your programming force on the right modules, and very, very, very useful it is on physics side, because you get faster physics processing, so you get better frame rate. That's nice. But additionally, you also can avoid stalls, because especially in an explosion situation, you really have a lot of heavy physics, and that is something you can offload to another processor, so you really have this performance power used very well. Physics is a good example, and there we apply it, and there's others as well, like network to get the better latency, and there's others like sound decompression and others.
And basically the CryEngine will take care of all of that through multiple threads.
Yeah.
Awesome. So some of the questions we had with, I mean, you're designing an entire game engine, not just the 3D engine, which seems a little unusual compared to some of the other things that we have. You're handling the physics, you're handling some of the assets and things like that, as well as the network from what we see on the webpage. But what are some of the hardest engineering problems you ran into when designing CryEngine 2?
I guess, I mean, what you don't know in advance is basically what problems you're faced with if you're scaling your company up. If you have this crisis is a asset-heavy production. There's a lot of textures, a lot of models that need to be done in a very high quality, and so many people have to work together to ship this game. And working together in a big-scale team, there's new problems, and smaller things become big problems if you do that on a large scale. And those ones, to solve those ones, we had to make a lot of production tools and a lot of things on our side on the engine to do properly, so that can work out.
Are these additional features that then are like bonus of things that you end up getting when you actually license CryEngine 2?
Yeah, that is part of the engine then.
So from an engineering standpoint, I mean, you're the lead graphics developer. What do you think is like the number one standout, a technical feature of this engine that just blows everyone away?
Okay, I mean, well, it's actually what we wanted to have. There was a goal in the beginning when we started Crysis. We wanted to have dynamic time of day, and we wanted to have dynamic shadows everywhere. So we wanted to have high quality, obviously improve in every area a little bit, but that was important for us. So what we did, we basically engineered in almost every little aspect. We had to take care of what happens if you change the time of day now, and then the sun moves, then lighting conditions are completely different, and that also means for our artists that they have to create their assets in a way that they are on the varying lighting conditions work very well. And that means for them again, it's a challenge to do it right and to do it properly with all the material setup and all that stuff. But for that we made the tools basically that they can do it.
So when you mentioned the tools, we were seeing some of the things where artists can like place trees, place different things like that, and then jump into it immediately, which seems like a really amazing tool for game developers. Is this the kind of things that you made to handle some of the new features you added, like the dynamic time of day? Or is it separate?
We actually separate, but we had that already actually when we had at Far Cry times. It was named "What You See Is What You Play," so you can quickly jump into and just start that stuff. And we just decided that was one of the main benefits at that time, because others sometimes only had editors that were kind of separate, and it was hard for them. Took them iterations, took quite some time to come to the game and see it, and then you have to go back to the editor. So we had that since that, and we wanted to keep it, so we did that.
So what do you think about physics add-in cards?
Sorry?
What do you think about add-in physics cards like the AGX and things like that? As far as as far as advancement for the PC, do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's not really necessary? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, they also advertise this idea of having physics simulation that is gameplay dependent and physics simulation that is not gameplay dependent, like just some little debris or clutter that you can see. And I think this is a good idea, just to have those things separated, because then you can play with everyone else, and they probably don't have that debris on that screen, but gameplay-wise they get actually the same game. This is a good idea, but this thing, so if someone wants to have them and wants to use them, I guess this is nice for them. But the same idea can be also applied in some other ways. You can also say, well, you have your physics done on the CPU, maybe on a multi-core or something, and I would like to have a little bit more of detail. You can apply the same idea there and say, okay, this more of detail is not affecting your gameplay, so you can use it through network, and it's all fine with that.
Well, we're all very excited about Crysis. We've seen all the demos. We saw the demos out there, and the things that you're doing with the CryEngine is looking really amazing. So we're pretty excited.
Absolutely. So let's check out some footage of the engine.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Cool. And I mean, I just fly here around a little bit. This is one of the levels that were designed.
For Crysis or for the demos? For
well, that's actually we used it for a fly-through. You might have some videos, seen some videos here. Those guys are just bored here.
Yeah,
it seems like.
Regarding the tank.
Yeah. So I mean, is there anything in particular you would like to take a look?
Can we do any sort of interacting with the environment? I mean, can you show the whole thing about everything being destructible? Like.
Okay, I just click one button and now basically I'm in the game.
Okay.
Kick that guy a little bit.
Is that a friend? Does he get mad?
I don't know. He was complaining.
I like the blur. The blur is nice.
Yeah, there's motion blur.
Oh, that's excellent. How is the facial animation support in CryEngine? Is it pretty decent?
It's very
speaking things.
There's actually a lot of stuff that you can maybe capture in the front, because there's a lot of people that argue about. Oh, sorry.
He's in the way.
What have I done?
Yeah, blur.
That's nice.
I like it.
Oh, that's a bug. I'm sorry.
So would you say this is a pretty decent representation of what Crysis may look like, or it'll look even better?
Well, I mean, here it looks very crisp and interesting because of that high resolution, but negative point is that the frame rate is a little bit lower.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you have decent hardware, you can get all the features on basically, and then you really can get good looking everything. And like, I mean, here the dynamic shadows.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Wow.
Can you actually shoot individual branches off that tree?
I think not of that tree, because it's a bit, that's the small detail one, but in general with palm trees that should work out. Not sure if that palm tree has enough.
Gotta wrap it up.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, this palm tree should work.
Here we go.
I mean, I think it works on the other one as well, but...
Oh, that's funny. When it went faster, like...
Yeah, we're still tweaking such things.
Sure.
If it works.
Do you have like a gate launcher or something?
Yeah.
Oh, look
at that.
Cut right through the tree. That's amazing.
And that is all built-in physics. You're not using external physics.
So are all the buildings destructible as well? Like, if you got in that tank and started shooting things, I mean, could you pretty much destroy everything, or they're still indestructible buildings?
Well, that would be for gameplay. It would be bad to have everything destructible, and to some degree at least.
Right,
and
sure.
I mean, so we want to have it that there is richer things and there's other things.
Gotta love crates.
That's it.
All right, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And we're back!
All right,
so
so thank you very much. We really appreciate that interview.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. Very informative, and CryEngine looks freaking amazing.
neither one of us can wait for Crytek. Sorry, for Crisis.
Crisis. Dude's just like, I know I'm going to have to spend
Oh, it's out of control.
$2,500
It's
on
out
my
of control.
PC
I have to buy a whole new
in
fucking
6
rig.
months.
Yep.
Dude, it's going to suck. So that was great.
God,
Hopefully that worked out okay.
Yeah.
Technically speaking.
Yes.
All right, so I think we are now going to go to our voicemails. The first one is coming up from Sonic Dude.
Yeah, we got some freaking awesome voicemails this week.
Yeah, we got a video mail.
Video, voicemail, and everything. All right, Sonic Dude, here we go.
Hey, Tobin and Yuzo, it's Sonic Dude, and I was just wondering, with all the new Wii games coming out this year, which games do you think will be must-buys for Wii owners? Games kind of like Twilight Princess. Take it easy. Bye.
Short and sweet. I love it.
Yes.
I don't know. What's yours?
Mario.
Mario? That's good. It is. They did announce, finally, that it's a 2007 game.
Oh,
So
I
it
didn't
is.
hear about that. So they've
It is a 2007
promised
game.
us.
During the keynote.
So it'll
they mentioned
be...
that. They said, it's coming out 2007. I'm like, thank God!
So December 31st.
Yeah, basically. Maybe 24th.
Bitches.
Day before Christmas.
Yeah.
Super Mario, I think on my list, Super Paper Mario is coming out
Yes.
in April, so that's going to be awesome. What else do we have?
So, Brain Age.
Brain Age. Oh, dude, yeah, I didn't even think it was going to be that good, but dude, it was a lot of fun.
We had a blast with that. And it's like, people didn't even know, we both hop in and it's just like, you're battling people and people get really into it. Hopefully there's a lot of variety in the games. It looks like there's a pretty decent variety, so that looks fun. That's 3.
Let's see, Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
Not for you, but for me.
Yeah.
Let's see, Metroid Prime. There's a bunch of third parties which all look like garbage. I think like Godfather's coming out. That doesn't look very good.
All right, so let's just say those 3. I think that's all we can think of for now.
Really, Metroid?
Well, 4 for you, right?
4, yeah. Metroid, Mario, Brain Age. What was the last one?
Crap.
Yeah, I think that might be it. They haven't actually announced
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario, yeah, Paper Mario.
Yeah.
So those will be the 4. Definitely be on the lookout.
Absolutely. So that is that for that. Video voicemail. Check it out.
Yeah, who wants a hug?
Hey guys, this is Who Wants a Hug, and I kind of had a question. Is there any reason at all for the classic controller? I mean, I bought it when, a couple days after I got my Wii, because it's kind of the same thing like when you buy a new puppy, and you're like, ooh, let's buy him cute little new toys, and a collar, and a bow, but no, I was real pissed off because, it's like no different from the Wavebird. You can do the exact same things on here as you can on here. But yeah, my question is, do you guys have a classic controller? What do you do with it? Do you know of anything coming out that you can do with it? Bye. Woo!
Woo! Yes, the classic controller. I bought it on launch day.
So I use mine to cut vegetables.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Does it actually cut through a can?
Yeah,
in 5
it
seconds?
slices, it dices.
Awesome. So get this, dude. I bought mine on launch day.
Yeah.
And it's still in its package.
No shit.
Yes.
You haven't even opened it.
I have not even opened it.
So
There's no reason to.
this is really funny
right now,
timing.
for me. So
this whole time I've never owned one, and literally this week I bought one because my girlfriend was saying, we went to Video Games Live, we saw all the Mario music, she's like, oh my god, that made me miss Super Mario Brothers, I want to play it again. I was like, well, just get it on an emulator, and she said that she didn't want to do that, and I was thinking about it, I'm like, that's understandable. Playing it on a little tiny screen with the arrows and the shift key as the jump.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
That's not fun. So I was like, all right, screw it. It's $19.
Well, then why do you need the classic controller? You can play it with a Wiimote because all you need is a cross and 2 buttons, right?
Well, the cross is up at the top, so you'd be playing two-handed basically.
Huh? No,
The
I'm
cross
talking about
is-
the bar. You put it
You turn it
sideways,
sideways.
just like Sonic and.
There's like one huge button.
No,
the
there's
two little
there's
ones.
1 and 2.
I guess that'd work.
Well, so that's what I'm
It
saying.
doesn't feel the same. Like this is tiny little. I bet that if you played that over time, you'd get really sick of the way it feels because you want like
true.
a nice.
But to answer his question, I think the point of the classic controller is that you can play pretty much Nintendo 64 games.
Yeah.
Which require
because
a
it
bunch
got
of
4 buttons. Yeah.
Yeah, but anything from the NES and even the SNES era, even maybe.
SNES had 4 buttons.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't use them all of them, but
Yeah.
But I think any from those, that's the reason, and that's the reason why I bought it because I was expecting myself to actually actually play a lot of the virtual consoles, I have yet to buy one. So, I would say that you're right. And actually, the whole thing, too, is like, if you have a Wavebird, you don't need one.
You can plug it into the...
They got the 4 things right on the top, so you just plug in the wireless adapter. And, and I had the Wavebird. The Wavebird's like one of the best controllers ever made until the 360 one.
Wow. So there's
really
no reason for that thing at all. Because, I mean, pretty much anybody that bought a Wii probably had a GameCube or knows somebody that had one.
And the Wavebird
like, hook me up with a controller.
Yeah, the Wavebird's an awesome controller. So I personally regret the fact that I bought mine, and it's still in the package, so if anybody wants to buy it, like if you need another one...
Oh, yeah. That sounds great.
I'm going to actually go out on eBay and find a Wavebird. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so who wants a hug? We have no idea. There's probably pretty much no reason for it, especially if you got a Wavebird. But otherwise, if you just want to play some retro games, you don't have a Wavebird, it's probably comfy in the hands if you don't like holding the Wiimote sideways.
And there's going to be some games specifically on the Wii that work better with the classic controller, probably like Metal Slug Anthology, maybe?
Okay. All right. And third one, Rasket.
Oh, dude, I love this voicemail.
Yo, what's up, homies? This is Rasket from the forums. Basically, what I want to know is, what do you guys reckon to the backwards compatibility problem with Sony and the PS3 in Europe at the moment? How they've taken the chips out and basically left us high and dry at the moment for any kind of PS2 compatibility with the PS3. On top of this, there's fuck all games for it, really, and as a UK gamer, we have to pay an extra £100 on top of the on top of what you guys pay in America, which is like $130 or something. So, you know, a bit pissed off right over here. Ow!
Dude, I feel like I'm in a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, did Rasket just go Texan on us at the end there?
I think so. That's an awesome American accent, dude.
Yeah, bring us some more British call-ins, because that's fucking awesome. We dig the accent.
Yeah, we're a sucker for a good, especially that kind of British accent, kind of like a little bit of street
you got
in there.
Fuck all for the PS3.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
So yeah, that's true. So the big news this last, I guess it was 2 weeks ago now, was that they're taking out the Emotion Engine, the Emotion Engine on the PS3, which was to allow for big backwards compatibility for the PS2 games.
I think it was going to be full backwards compatibility too, because it's pretty much the same chip.
Yeah.
So they weren't going to have to do any sort of software hacks or anything like that to get the older games working.
So here's my opinion on this. Nobody fucking plays old games on new consoles. Nobody plays old games on new consoles. They make the biggest deal about it on launches. They're like, is this going to play all my Xbox games? Is it going to play all my PS2 games? Nobody cares. Like, if you have all those games, you've got the old console. The only way you'd ever need it is if your old console just broke suddenly. Or, like, if you need the space, I guess, whatever. But you've got all these new games. And then you go and you look at the old games like, oh, they look like shit. Nobody cares. Nobody goes back and plays old games on new consoles.
So, that is point. Counterpoint. You're right. No, I'm just kidding. So wait, you're right. In the case of the 360, there's absolutely no use for backwards compatibility with Xbox. There weren't that many games. What games there weren't that good in the first place. Right?
Even the good ones, it's just you're not going to go back and replay.
But even the good ones, they handled pretty much the good, popular ones. So as far as I'm concerned, they did their job with backwards compatibility. I'm not going to fault them for that.
Right.
As far as what we're talking with Sony, here's my problem with Sony is doing it. People will do it because of how many freaking games there are out on PS2 and how many games are going to be coming out on PS2, like God of War. Remember, PS3 was out back in November. God of War is coming out now. If you just only bought a PS3, you're going to want to play that game, and you're not going to be able to if you're in Europe. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? So there's that. The other thing is, like, as far as, I mean, right, you have all the problems with Sony saying, like, look, we're going to be doing backwards compatibility. Look at Xbox. They're all fucked up. They were so
that is the big issue I have with it, where they're like, yeah, it looks like Xbox is having some problems. They're not fully backwards compatible. It's like, you sacks of shit.
Exactly. So it's like, this is the problem. They were so arrogant and so, in your face about the fact that they do have backwards compatibility because they are spending the money to put it in. And guess what? For the Europeans and Australians, fuck you. That's
why
what
they do it? That's what I don't understand. Is like
cheaper. It's $30 chip. Do you know how much money they're losing right now on every PS3?
A lot.
$30 a head really makes a big difference. And guess what? I bet.
But then you're supporting dual platforms, and it's like when people have tech support questions, what they got like, which one do you have?
What they're going to do is going to do software emulation, and we all saw how well that was done with the 360.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's going to suck. And get this, right? I bet you in the U.S. pretty soon, once they sell all the ones where they have here.
Oh, they'll start bringing it here. Absolutely. So, if you can sell us a cheaper one.
I don't know if I should buy one earlier then.
You don't care. You're not going to play PS2 games.
I was trying to set up a joke, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just saying in general, I think it's I mean, my counterpoint is like they shouldn't have made that much big of a deal if they're going to do this or plan on doing this.
Yeah,
And
you
the second
sound like assholes.
And the second thing is the PS2 is going to be a 10-year console. The way that it's install base and the way that they're going to still make games for it, it's going to be a 10-year console.
I think that's
3 to
true.
5
That's
years
true in
left of it.
Japan. I don't think that's true here. You really think
it's
there's...
got 100 million across the world?
Yeah.
That's a lot here.
That's true. It's a big install base, I guess.
So you imagine that versus like maybe 500,000 PS3s, which you're going to make a game for right now. And especially a budget game or a game that's like, you know, whatever. Like, look at the GBA.
Well, I mean, in Japan, they've got these things where they'll come out with these 20-disc series of like, you know, these weird dating sims and just kind of like RPGs and just story-based.
But Japan got the chip.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
true.
Europe and
that's true.
And the thing is, too, right? Remember, they always wanted to make sure that, like, look, we don't want to treat anybody like a second-class citizen.
Yeah,
and
unless people aren't Asian. We don't want to treat any Asians like second-class citizens. Europeans, fuck you!
Or North Americans, for that matter.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so they're basically screwing over the Australians, and they're going to be... And Europeans are going to screw over us.
How you feel about that?
Yeah.
You guys going to take that?
Yeah.
Buy an Xbox 360.
Well, dude, you know, we might actually end up getting a PS3 now.
Might nothing, man. PlayStation Home looks sweet.
I know. It's so sad, though. It's like a fucking Second Life clone.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, it looks way better.
Yes, it does.
Second Life sucks.
Yes. So, cool. I think,
forums.
Yeah.
So...
Should we wrap this up?
Our Retro Gaming Club is over. For the last one was Shadow of the Colossus. We got a new one. We voted.
And guess what? I don't think Tobin's going to have to stab any jaws whatsoever.
I was ready. I was going to come to all of your houses if you didn't let me play Ratchet and Clank. But guess what?
I saw him sharpening. But anyway, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank won.
Ratchet and Clank won the contest. All of you saw the light. So we had a big poll on the forums. If you're not on the forums, go and head over to the forums. So we all voted the whole bunch of games. And if you had a game that lost, you're not out of the running because what we're going to do is...
well, the thing is, like, with the other two games we should mention. So this game, Ratchet and Clank, got 18 votes, which is, like, you know, far and away everything. But two games got tied for second place. Yeah. So we have Resident Evil 4 and, what was the other one? Fable. So those two games we're just going to have over the next 2 weeks right after that.
Absolutely. So we've got the Retro Gaming Club game set for the next 3 weeks. So
dude, they were hard to choose from.
They were tough because we had a bunch of good games on there. So if you want to plan ahead and get your hands on some of these games, they're all cheap because they're all classics. They're all in greatest hits. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be playing this week Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, and we're all going to be playing it, discussed on the forums. Mm-hmm. It is one of the best Ratchets out there. They're all awesome. I can't say it's better than the others, but... And then right after that, we're going to probably do Fable, and then right after that, Resident Evil 4. I saw both of them in Walmart for the greatest hits. They're $20 each. Yeah. And I'm sure you can find them used even cheaper. Absolutely. So definitely give a look out, and go play Ratchet and Clank. I got to go find a copy myself. Hell yeah! And talk about it in the forums. Yes, and speaking of forums, the listener homework this week is... Contribute to Wise Man's Iron Gamer PC thread. So, as you guys know, we have the Iron Gaming Challenge. Generally, it's only for Xbox 360 because of the gamer points and how we can actually keep track. But this guy's saying, like, I'm a PC user. I want to play the Iron Gamer Challenge. Bring it. So he actually put up a vote for about, like, 6 different games. I believe right now Counter-Strike is in the lead, which... better. So I think he'll probably set up some sort of tournament or something like that. We'll play one-on-one and we'll have a ranking, and then whoever wins that will be the Iron Gamer. I'm so glad somebody filled the void. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. Good job, Wise Man. We really appreciate it. So go to the forums and vote. We'll probably be bringing this competition to a close in the next couple days. Like the voting. No, the voting is done. So I'm going to close that out today. And before you guys actually see this, but we'll probably open up the voting in a couple weeks. I meant for the Iron Gamer. Oh shit! Yeah, sorry. So we'll vote. You know, another couple days to vote for the Iron Gamer, and we'll pick a game. We'll have this whole online tournament for PC gamers who feel left out because of the PS3 action, the Xbox 360 action we always talk about. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Okay, hey, we ran out of film. Here's our attempt number 2 at the outro. All right, that's our show for the week. Please check out our website at NooBTooB.com, and please leave any feedback in the episode section of the forums. Also, please call into our voicemail at 888-233-8480. Holla back, y'all. What? 888-233-8480, or send an audio or video to feedback@NooBTooB.com and be featured on our show. Yeah. So we dig all the ways that we've been getting feedback, man. Yeah. The video, the audio, the calling in. I mean, however you want to, you guys want to get information into us, you send it in. We love it. Keep it under a minute. Make sure you say who you are. Everybody's been really good about it lately, so we're on a roll. Yeah, say where you're from too. Say where you're from. I think that
Unless you're Rasket, we know where you're from.
Obviously, he's Chinese. So be sure to subscribe to our audio and video podcast in iTunes right off the front page. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, there's a subscription button right there. So click it, click it, click it, click it.
Right
I'm
now.
looking at you. So that's all for this episode. I'm Tobin Kozire.
And I am Yuzo Watanabe. Audio engineering is done by Range Little Livered Strunk.
Oh, wait, he can't get us here.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
We're out.
See ya.
With a big fucking box of wine.
You're a big fucking box of
the sense of
wine.
desperation and bridges and living under them.
You're a bridge.
Yeah, later in the episode I'll probably be screaming and falling out of my chair, but...
You're always screaming and falling out of your chair.
Oh, yeah. Cheers, sir. Oh, cheers.
Who's that other guy?
As you can see, we're trying our podcasting again, so if you check out episode 23 on the website...
What are they talking about?
This one now, you can